Booed at the Dodgers game. Invited yourself to Paris Fashion Week.
It just happened. She said, I'd love to come to your show.
Rambling about a topic you once again know nothing about.
But one thing that is seriously lacking is EQ, emotional intelligence. Arguably quite a lot of IQ there, but there's not enough EQ.
Tension at an all-time high and lies unraveling. I mean, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's public brand has been one embarrassing breakdown Meghan hopes to solve one Instagram story at a time. And every few months there's a new image, a new rebrand, a new version of Meghan and Harry that we're expected to buy into as if the past scandals, contradictions, and PR stunts just hit reset every time. Hey everyone, welcome back to Scandalous Media. It's Angela here, and I'm back with another Meghan Markle and Prince Harry video. They have been quite busy over the last month. It's almost hard to keep up with them. I'll take you through everything they've been up to in this video, so be sure to like and subscribe for new videos every single week, and follow us on our social media. Meghan was in Paris with her man of choice, Marcus Anderson, the global membership director for Soho House, that exclusive members-only club. After a string of solo appearances, she and Harry are trying their hand at the united front again, but every time they're together, it just makes the tension between them more obvious. We saw it at Kevin Costner's fundraiser, it carried over to the Project Healthy Minds event.
Archie and Lily are just 6 and 4 years old. Can you believe it?
You know, our kids are 4 and 6, and so because Archie and Lily are just 3 and 5.
We have 2 little ones. They are now 4 and 6.
Oh, we're pretty now that our little ones are little and enjoying every moment of it.
The Dodgers World Series game, and even Meghan's ever-active Instagram stories, which at this point are basically just damage control. Anytime something is up, she's quick to post a montage of the kids or their family trips on Instagram, a classic move to divert attention, or to distract from the fact that she's been traveling solo for weeks without them, so here's a video of them at the pumpkin patch that no one else is at. I truly wonder if the kids see anyone else aside from their nanny and Meghan and Harry, since they're clearly so sheltered. And if not for Instagram, where else would Meghan be able to show us that she's plastering her royal monogram everywhere, like on a notebook, because clearly she still thinks she holds the same royal status as Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. Then there's Paris Fashion Week and that bizarre video Meghan posted that almost looks like she's taunting Harry. And let's not forget, this comes after the Balenciaga scandal with that controversial campaign featuring children, the same ones Harry and Meghan claim they're trying to protect, yet Meghan is strutting around in support anyway. I made a whole video discussing that Balenciaga scandal when it first happened, so be sure to check it out for a refresh. She's also trying her hand at everything now, including selling a $64 candle inspired by her royal wedding. Yup. Candle number 519, as in May 19, 2018, the date she married Harry, and as some would say, the day everything started going downhill. And of course, she can't resist weaving in the royal family again. According to Vanity Fair, the candle is described as evoking the freshness of a day in the English countryside, a long walk in the garden, and a spirit of happiness. Because nothing says post-royalty brand like subtly reminding everyone you were once part of the institution you've spent years trashing. This isn't even the first time she's leaned on her royal past, for as ever, she first mentioned that a box of flour-sprinkled shortbread cookies from the initial drop was inspired by her time in the UK. And while her first products were relatively affordable, this latest collection is jacking up the price tags, $64 for a candle. Maybe money is running a little tight. So while Meghan is using her royal past to sell her brands, cookies, candles, you name it, maybe it's time for a glow up that actually improves your life. Try building your credit. And no, not with another credit card you don't need. Meet Ava, the all-in-one membership that helps you build credit with the money you're already spending. Because tell me why you pay rent, your phone bill, and utilities every month, and they're out here doing nothing for your credit. With Ava's rent and bills reporting, these boring adult bills can help build positive credit history without taking on new debt. Link your bank once, confirm your payments, and Ava reports eligible on-time payments to TransUnion typically within 24 hours. Experian and Equifax reporting are coming soon. Oh, and Ava can add up to 24 months of past rent, so your history starts working for you immediately. That's what we call getting credit where it's due. And you can relax because Ava only reports verified on-time payments, so there's no negative reporting. Think of her as your credit wingwoman, not your financial villain. But rent reporting is just chapter 1, Ava is a whole credit building ecosystem. With the Ava Credit Builder card, you can pay everyday bills like a debit card, but with no interest and no late fees. There's also the Ava Save and Build. Yes, you can build credit and savings at the same time. We love efficiency. One membership, no add-ons, no surprise fees. It's all about helping you achieve the stability you've always deserved. If you're already paying the bills, they should be working for you too. Ava membership starts at $8 a month billed annually or $10 a month billed monthly. Turn your everyday bills into your credit building advantage at meetava.com. While most of us are quietly handling our responsibilities, others are busy making every little thing about themselves. It's not about me, but I'll make it about me. Just like the Kevin Costner event where Meghan is there to either snatch a microphone from the woman's hand or stroll up on a stage where Harry told her to stay off from, no amount of embarrassment or awkwardness will get in the way of Meghan going from supporting role to main role. This time around, she's at a bookstore event to support her alleged friend from college, Courtney Adamo, where Meghan awkwardly interrupts her mid-sentence to fix her mic. This is Courtney's event about her book that she wrote with her husband called The Family Home, which explores the secrets to creating a happy, comfortable, and stylish family home. This is relevant for later when Meghan comes and Meghanifies the conversation. As Courtney's in the middle of saying thank you for having me, Meghan butts in and says,
I'm so glad you guys get to meet Courtney as well. Yeah. We've been friends since college, just so you know.
Really, Meg? The woman of the event is mid-sentence and you interrupt her to tell us you've been friends since college? And the hilarious part is that she ends it by saying, just so you know, because where would we be without that valuable piece of information? And since you're friends since college, where was Courtney at your wedding? It's moments like these that make Meghan seem like an opportunistic narcissist because when it's time for someone else to shine, she physically can't stand it. But when it comes to personal connections like a wedding or a baby shower, these alleged friends were never invited. Just celebrities she's never met. And you could tell Courtney is uncomfortable because she gives her a quick look here and then glances at the audience uncomfortably with her tight-lipped smile. And there's a bit of awkward silence to follow because Courtney seems closed off and is just like, yeah. Then it gets even more awkward when Courtney resumes talking and Meghan cuts her off again to correct her on how to hold the microphone.
It's really an honor to be here and to be chatting about our book. Oh, sorry.
She couldn't even get a full sentence in without correcting her, saying,
I can hold it for you also.
Look at how taken off guard Courtney is. Thanks, Savior Meg. The last thing we need is you with an additional microphone. The whole I can hold it for you also is very awkward because it's not like Courtney is doing something with her hands that she's not capable of holding her own mic. Instead, this shows us Meghan's dire need for attention and control because what do you mean you could hold the mic for her when she's sitting down and is talking about her book? She makes everything about herself without even giving room for Courtney to find her own comfort, or maybe gradually raise the mic to her mouth as the nerves settle in. But Meghan doesn't give her a chance because she interrupted her not once, but twice. This need for attention, a role, and control is disguised as an act of kindness. But judging by Meghan's clenched jaw and second-long assessment of looking Courtney up and down, you can see that she acts on impulse. She doesn't even let anything settle. There is no second thought. It's just bam, action. We see this again when Courtney is telling her story of how she and her family sold their house, took the kids out of school, sold all their stuff, and watch how Meghan bulldozes her way into making the story about herself again here.
All the stuff, and we went and traveled for what turned out to be 18 months.
And they documented all of this.
Just look at the way Courtney is taken so off guard again, staring at Meghan, who cuts her off to tell her a story and says they documented all of this. I'm sure if she let Courtney speak, Courtney would have told us that. Notice how the other woman sitting across from them doesn't butt into the conversation the way Meghan does. If anything, she's just sitting there in disbelief. Meghan continues talking about herself, saying,
We hadn't been in touch during that period, and I remember seeing it on Instagram and going, is that Courtney?
You can tell that Courtney is turned off and annoyed at this point because she tightens her jaw here and purses her lips until she lets out an awkward laugh. Watch how Meghan takes her time telling a story that is truly so irrelevant to what's happening right now, but gives us things from her perspective, one we didn't ask for.
And they're in a minivan somewhere in South America.
And then cue Meghan's word salad and watch as Courtney realizes, oh, she's going to keep on talking about herself.
It's amazing when you can find what you're able to create in a small space when a lot of us, especially here, have a lot of...
You know, I grew up in a small duplex. We all have a lot more opportunity, space, privilege, or you have a lot of open space as you did growing up on this farm.
If this is something that Courtney explored in her book, then why is Meghan speaking for this woman about her experiences instead of letting her speak for herself? It's genuinely so bizarre and awkward, especially when you look at Courtney's reaction, just staring at her in disbelief, looking down and looking at the crowd. I get that she invited Meghan to this event, probably regretted it the moment Meghan took a mic hostage, but I don't even think she knew this is how it would go down. Watch as Kourtney stares deadpan at Meghan, not even nodding in agreement with what she's saying, but rather looks kind of annoyed, while Meghan talks about what Kourtney is doing for her family.
But when you have a limited amount of space, what are the practical tools that she's been able to implement for her family and for her kids to feel connected?
Yeah.
When I think
You can tell that Kourtney's trying to hurry up the Meghan show, trying to get a word in and saying, yeah, but Meghan just kept going.
we open our doors, our hearts, and our homes, both for our own families and when we have guests,
Kourtney shifts here, and her lips are pressed tightly together, trying to contain the annoyance she displays. These are all body language cues that hint at discomfort and annoyance. But Meghan still doesn't get the hint, as this word salad segues into a shameless plug about her Netflix show.
guests, especially as the holiday season is approaching.
Kourtney is taken so off guard at this point, you can see her hand go to her head out of frame, almost to self-soothe. She slightly tilts her head, purses her lips, and her jaw tenses up again. I'd be mad too if this is an event about my book, and here's this woman who only seems to pop up when someone else is in the limelight, talking about why she chooses to greet guests barefoot. Which, if you're wondering, it's because it demystifies. People walk in and go, oh, she's in this with me.
What?
Only Meghan would try to make being barefoot and cooking in your kitchen some sort of bigger, deeper meaning. She continues saying, and what are they drawn to? Your kitchen. They come right in, and suddenly everybody's a little bit softened. It always feels like a fever dream hearing Meghan speak. Like, okay, it's just a kitchen and you're just barefoot. People aren't going to suddenly have some deep existential revelation because she kicked off her shoes and stirred a pot. It's not that profound, it's ordinary life, and yet she somehow manages to turn it into a metaphor for emotion accessibility or spiritual demystification. Kourtney was nothing but grateful on Instagram, even giving a shout out to Meghan, saying, "Thank you to Godmother's Bookstore for hosting and to my longtime friend Meghan for joining and supporting me." Truth be told, Meghan is the big name here, so that alone is enough press for the book. It may not be good press and you may be sidelined at your own event, but it sure as hell got people talking. And I think Meghan knows that. She acts that way because she's like, well, no one would otherwise care if I wasn't here. And that's the thing. Meghan's the big star here and she lets us know it. She's not humble enough to sit back and let anyone else shine. If anything, she'll think she's doing Kourtney a favor. This brings me to the next part and how things always seem to go wrong for Meghan despite how hard she tries. Inviting yourself to Paris Fashion Week. Nothing is funnier than Meghan strutting all over Paris at the Balenciaga show, acting like the #1 most powerful person just walked into the room, only for it to be exposed that once again, she invited herself, which makes this video that much funnier. Aside from two shocked bystanders heard in the background, it almost felt like a meme when you enter mighty and proud, but it's literally crickets. She attended the Balenciaga show on October 4th to support designer Pier Paolo Piccioli, who was debuting his first collection with the brand. So how exactly does Meghan know Pier Paolo Piccioli? On the surface, it looks like this close designer-client friendship. Meghan's team even told the press she's worn a number of Pier Paolo's designs over the years, and that this evening reflects many years of artistry and friendship. And yeah, she has worn his work before, back when he was the creative director at Valentino, long before he moved to Balenciaga.
She's never been to a fashion show.
I know.
The whole Meghan's never been to a fashion show before, as if that was by choice and her coming to this one was like Princess Diana being risen, is hilarious because she's never been because she was never invited. She briefly popped up at a few shows during New York and Toronto fashion weeks between 2013 and 2015, but that was influencer level access, not couture front row access. Those were the kind of events you go to when you're trying to get noticed. The Paris Fashion Week moment, though, that happened because of her royal connections. The same connection she loves to drag every other week while pretending she was some already established self-made actress before she did Harry the favor of saying yes to his proposal. So I thought that was interesting. Now, what I also found interesting was that before Pier Paolo ever said a word about how Meghan ended up being his celebrity guest, her team, or the Office of Meghan as they like to call it, gave an official statement to USA Today, and in that article, they only referred to her as Duchess Meghan. I see the checks are starting to go through. Originally, the statement made it sound like she'd been personally invited as this special guest of honor, attending to support the creative director of the House of Balenciaga, which of course lined up perfectly with the image they wanted out there. But then Pier Paolo's version came out and it's very different. He told The Cut that he and Meghan met some years ago and we've been texting ever since. He said she reached out herself and said she'd love to come to the show and that he didn't tell anyone because he wanted it to be a surprise.
How did that happen?
We met and we continue like texting.
Yeah.
And you know, it just happened. She said, I'd love to come to your show. We've been talking about the moment. And yeah, it just happened.
So it wasn't some long-term creative partnership the way Meghan likes to act. Oh, Netflix wanted me, oh, this school invited me, everyone wants me at these exclusive events. Whole time, she's emailing and texting, begging for a seat at the table. The contrast between Pierre Paolo's version and Meghan's is classic Meghan PR. Her team's version paints this elegant story of mutual artistry and long-standing friendship, while his makes it sound more like casual networking. Once again, it's that perfect example of how Meghan crafts a narrative she wants versus what's actually happening behind the scenes. Embarrassing moments in Paris. It's not a Meghan video without an embarrassing rundown, and boy do I have a lot for you. Starting off strong, Meghan is seated at the fashion show next to her man of choice, Marcus. In the video, she bursts into a fit of laughter while the crowd around her remains perfectly stoic. She glances at Marcus, probably expecting him to laugh with her, only to catch his composed, unamused expression. Almost instinctively, she covers her mouth with her hand as if to shield the onlookers from her giggle, then flips her attention back to the runway with a perfectly straight face. Reports are claiming that she was laughing at a model tripping on the runway. While the camera angle doesn't show it, I honestly can't imagine what else could have triggered that kind of laugh. Charlotte Griffiths, editor-at-large of the Mail on Sunday, said that Meghan sat on the front row and a model tripped. She burst out laughing. And then she obviously realized that was quite a cruel thing to do, so she sort of covered it up. She comes off like a classic mean girl, laughing at someone else's misstep, scanning the room to see if anyone else is joining in, and when they aren't, quickly collecting herself. She also looks so out of place, like someone who doesn't belong, and it's this kind of embarrassing superior behavior, the way she subtly belittles others or acts above everyone else, that has, ironically, made everyone look at her like a nobody who can't wait to take someone down with her. Of course, her rep spoke to none other than the Daily Mail, plainly saying she wasn't laughing at the model. So what was she laughing at? In another embarrassing moment, Meghan could be seen speaking in a small group with Dame Kristen Scott Thomas and was mid-flow when Kristen started to walk off, completely ignoring her and leaving her awkwardly hanging. You can see Meghan staring intensely at her at the beginning, and when Kristen starts to walk off, Meghan gives her a side look as she tries to continue on with the conversation, and it's just cold. Meghan was also mocked for her Zoolander walk as observers noticed she appeared to be sashaying as she left the Balenciaga show. The media picked up on that as well, which brings me to the next point. Fake security concerns and the Dodgers game tension. We have heard Meghan and Harry whine and cry about security for years. We need money for security, no one leaves us alone, I can't travel to the UK because someone might throw acid in my wife or stab her.
And whether it's a knife or acid, whatever it is, and these are things that are genuine concern for me. It's one of the reasons why I won't bring my wife back to this country.
We can't be in New York without government level security because we were chased. Suddenly, all that goes right out the window when the result is something you desperately crave: money and attention. So Meghan, you can fly to Paris, but you can't go to the UK. And it's not about whether or not she has anything left for her in the UK, everyone there hates her, but if you weren't planning on going to the UK to begin with, why was Harry fighting tooth and nail in court over those security claims? Was it just something to busy him while you conveniently built a whole brand without him? Face it, the security argument was always a cover. And now, 5 years later, with both of their masks melted off from all the BS, we see it for what it always was. It wasn't that the royal family didn't protect you and that you couldn't move to Africa like his mommy, as you claimed on Netflix. It was always because you wanted to do things your way and you wanted to be half in, half out. Yes to the crowns, the jewels, the state banquets, but no to the duty and public service that actually comes with it. So you see, it's not about the isolated event, which is Meghan going to Paris Fashion Week. The average viewer is probably like, so what? But it's the fact that for years, they both lied about security claims because it was a scapegoat reason. They wanted to sell us a fake story, and when it didn't work, they're rebranding. Anytime Meghan sees a camera, she makes direct eye contact and gives a little pose and usually a huge smile. I mean, there have been times where she had to be peeled off the red carpet. She always does a little Taylor Swift and Kim Kardashian stare at the cameras, and while there's nothing wrong with that, it's the context and the lies behind the paparazzi chasing her, how she fears for her life, how she can't stand the paparazzi, how she needs your money to fund her security, when in reality, she loves the attention, and you could tell. Look at her strutting out to the car and even waiting to pose for the cameras and give a little turn. She does not want to get inside that car. This is exactly what we saw in New York 2 years ago, except she turned it into a whole BS story about how she was chased on the FDR for 2 hours. You can't trust people like her. Just admit you love the paparazzi and go. You don't see Taylor Swift or Kim Kardashian lying about how they can't stand the attention. No, they strut, they pose, and they go. That's the difference. You don't have to watch your back when you're filming them, as opposed with Meghan, you're gonna wake up to a lawsuit after she called you to photograph her. Backward photographers could definitely relate. Here she is strutting out of the car in her second Balenciaga look, moving slowly and sultrily for the cameras. Again, she has absolutely no problems with the paparazzi. Here they are recently arriving at the Dodger Stadium for the World Series Game 4. They have their whole entourage with them, and notice how the camera is allowed to film them in that space. The mask is off. The idea that they hate the cameras, that they have to enter from a tunnel in the basement just to have some normalcy, is quietly getting scrapped. The official MLB account posted a slow-mo video of Meghan arriving with her special paparazzi smile. Seriously, no one gets her smiling more than the presence of cameras, while Harry is tight-lipped behind her in her shadow as usual. While the cameras have gotten a bunch of other celebrities at that game, just chilling, watching the game, not even looking at the cameras, we see that's not the case for Harry and Meghan. That's basically designed for the best camera shots. And even here, Meghan catches the camera. I don't know how, since there's probably a million, but she does have a knack for catching them. She looks away and pretends to act normal. I think she has a sixth sense when the camera is filming, or she probably sees herself on the big screen, but her smile doesn't ever take a vacation. It looks like it's almost painfully permanent. She interacts with Harry, who also makes eye contact with the camera here. She gives a look and then goes back to pretending to be in convo. Let me know if this looks awkward to anyone else. People even brought up how Harry is repping the LA Dodgers over Canada, where his father is the head of state. I don't know if it's that serious, but even Justin Bieber, who is an LA veteran, was decked out in Blue Jays attire to rep his Canadian side.
I think you'd like to say it all about wearing that LA Dodgers hat last week and getting it hot water.
LA Dodgers hatgate. Well, firstly, I would like to apologise to Canada for wearing it. Secondly, I was under duress. There wasn't much choice. I was invited to the LA Dodgers box. I'm going to wear this from now on to make sure I don't make any more of those mistakes.
Either way, the Dodgers lost 6-2, with people poking fun, saying it's the Meghan curse. But back to Harry and Meghan and their dynamic at the game. This picture says it all. Harry's watching the game, and Meghan's got her camera-ready smile on as she reaches for his hand so they can get the perfect camera shot. Notice how Harry's body language is basically caged off from her. His arms are raised, almost like a physical barrier, while she reaches toward him. In body language, that kind of posture isn't random. It's the body's instinctive way of creating distance or protection. When someone feels uncomfortable or even slightly threatened emotionally, their body will subconsciously close itself off. Crossed arms, turned shoulders, minimal eye contact. It's that built-in fight or flight response. Even here, when they're both turned to talk to the people behind them, look at Harry's closed hands forming a literal physical barrier away from Meghan instead of being relaxed and leaning into her, maybe even having his arm around her. Meanwhile, she is leaning toward him with her hand on his knee, kind of holding him down. And you can tell throughout the game that they had a bunch of kind of trying their hand at these PDA moments. And when we see that this isn't reciprocated from him, it makes me feel like it's trouble in paradise. And ever since that painfully tense Project Healthy Minds event where Harry could barely even look at her, Meghan's doubled down on the Instagram content, trying to prove that he's just as happy as she claims and not as miserable as his face keeps screaming. She took to Instagram to post this video of Harry smiling at her, writing, "Happy World Mental Health Day to the man who always keeps me laughing." She had to post something fast after it looked like Harry was fed up with her yet again. And then they went out for date night at Soho House. Funny how we haven't had any issues in New York with the paparazzi ever since they were exposed for being liars 2 years ago. Let me know if you want a whole breakdown of that event in a different video. But she did the same thing after the Dodgers game. She posted a whole vlog titled Date Night, where she's filming everything. Here she's being filmed guffawing while eating a hot dog because nothing says personality like eating food. She then puts the camera in Harry's face, pivots to the ground, Harry finally interacts, and then there are a few more clips of the night, including Meghan laughing at the end. But if it makes anyone laugh, out of all the celebrities there, it was Meghan and Harry who got booed at the World Series. Check it out. If you ask me, Harry's over it, he looks fed up with Meghan, and the fact that he recently met with his father probably reminded her of something terrifying. At the end of the day, Harry still has the royal family to fall back on. But if this goes south for Meghan, she's got nothing. She can barely outrun her own past, the lies, the PR spin, the cracked mask. Imagine adding a divorce to that? So yeah, I think she's been slamming her foot on the gas, trying to hold on to him, maybe even win him back a little. Because Harry might finally be waking up to how she's been dangling fake security concerns and feeding him this illusion of purpose for years. Why is it that the only time Harry looks happy with Meghan is in the videos she posts to Instagram, and never in the ones filmed by anyone else? She wants us to see the world entirely through her lens. This isn't new either. Remember when they were filming for Netflix and she clashed with the original director because she insisted on handling the cameras herself? In the end, all the official footage was just iPhone videos she recorded. And now suddenly, they're doing all these joint appearances again, conveniently right after months of me pointing out how she's been cutting him out of their brand, the podcast, and everything else. It screams damage control. But if she's really trying to get back in his good graces, that still doesn't explain that tone-deaf video she posted during Paris Fashion Week right near the site of Princess Diana's death, especially when Harry has repeatedly said how traumatic that loss was for him. It almost feels like deja vu, another moment where she seems to be toying with his deepest pain. Taunting Harry. In the clip, Meghan is seen lounging in the back of a limousine, her feet propped up on the leather seats, as the car drives past the Pont de l'Alma, the site of Princess Diana's tragic death in 1997. So now imagine Meghan, knowing all of this, leaning back in a limo, snapping a video, feet up, glam as ever. I mean, it's hard not to read that as sadistic, like she's glamorizing something so deeply traumatic for Harry. While some defended Meghan, suggesting it was an innocent moment, the backlash was significant, with many labeling the gesture as narcissistic and tasteless. And here's the thing, for Harry, anything linked to Paris is emotional. The man has made it clear that the city haunts him because it's where his mother's life ended, that he even went back to go inside that tunnel where the crash happened to kind of almost like torture himself about it. So he's very protective of Meghan, sure, but you can't help but think, how did this moment not set off alarms for her? Sources close to them told Radar Online that while Meghan may not have intentionally meant for the video to draw those shocking comparisons, it did, and now they're apparently trying to navigate the fallout together. But that, oops, it wasn't intentional line only goes so far when you're posting a glam limo video literally down the street from where your husband's mom died. And apparently, this whole thing hasn't exactly helped the state of their marriage. The same insider said Meghan's little unintentional jab has caused real tension between them, especially now that Harry's rumored to be trying to mend fences with his dad, King Charles, and his brother, Prince William. It's like every time he tries to move toward healing, Meghan does something that drags them right back into the chaos. And we could see the tension now that this incident happened first, and then we saw how it was at the Project Healthy Minds event, at the Dodgers game, and I'm sure as any more events go on. I think it's something that Meghan does to taunt Harry, because in their Netflix soap opera, as they were exiting from a garage, she pretended she saw someone following them and started to act out of fear for her safety as she stared Harry down almost sadistically while he spiraled. All you could see was a pedestrian riding a city bike, but Meghan got into Harry's head and just stared at him while he scrambled in front of us. And we could all see that there was no one following them, because if there was, the cameras filming them would have gotten that. I couldn't believe they left that footage in because, to me, it exposed Meghan's games to all of us. This also reminds me of when Meghan told Harry she wanted to take her own life, but that she wasn't going to act on it because of him.
You need help. You need serious help.
This felt like it was taunting and narcissistic manipulation on a different level. She told Oprah, "I just didn't want to be alive anymore," and that was a very clear and real and frightening constant thought. Reflecting on that in The Me You Can't See, Harry said that Meghan decided to share with me the suicidal thoughts and the practicalities of how she was going to end her life. The scariest thing for her was her clarity of thought. She hadn't lost it, she was completely sane, yet in the quiet of the night, these thoughts woke her up. As for why she didn't act on those thoughts, he said, "The thing that stopped her from seeing it through was how unfair it would be on me after everything that happened to my mom, and to now be put in a position of losing another woman in my life with a baby inside of her, our baby." The fact that she framed it as not acting on the thoughts because of him could be seen in putting him the role of savior, aka giving her power. Presenting the idea that she almost did it, but paused because of him, could shift the narrative. She becomes rescued, and he becomes indebted. Clearly she was of sane mind if he said that she was clear-headed and calm. But when someone frames a life or death decision around another person, "I didn't do it because of you," it seems like manipulation. It's either you fall in line or I'm holding this threat over you. And to me, that is something absolutely insane that she had said that. And the fact that in the Netflix documentary, Harry said, "Looking back on it now, I hate myself for it. What she needed from me was so much more than I was able to give," referring to Meghan's thoughts, and his response shows us exactly how she manipulates him to control him. Now he feels that burden, even though she told him, "I'm not going through with it, but I'm letting you know what I want to do," because subconsciously, Harry wants to do everything in his power to protect her.
And whether it's a knife or acid, whatever it is, and these are things that are a genuine concern for me. It's one of the reasons why I won't bring my wife back to this country.
And she always faults him for her wrongdoings. He even blames her estranged relationship with her father on him, saying in Netflix, "She had a father. Now she doesn't have a father. I shouldered that, because if Meg wasn't with me, then her dad would still be her dad." No. If she picked up the phone and called her father instead of ghosting him like he said, she'd still have a father. But she ruined all sorts of family ties for her hunt to the top. So knowing all this context, it's hard to see that Meghan's video stroll in Paris was anything other than strategic. What do you guys think? Well guys, that's all for this video. I know it's a bit longer than I anticipated, but they've been up to so much. I haven't even had the chance to fully cover the embarrassing Project Healthy Minds event, Meghan's Fortune Summit speech, and so much more. So if you want those videos, let me know in the comments down below. What do you guys think about everything these clowns have been up to so far? Be sure to like and subscribe for new videos every week. Put those post notifications on so you don't miss the live chat premiere we do for every single video. Follow us on our social media, and as ever, I'll see you next time.